Robert Grant, and I'm with Green Earth.
Josh, go ahead.
Josh Trujillo, and I'm with Green Earth.
Excellent. Thank you, too, for joining the program here today. Green Earth. Boy, that just sounds like an environmentally friendly name that is probably saving the planet, something at a time. I'm not sure. But let's talk a little bit about your company for a minute, and then we'll talk about what you guys are doing actually about saving the earth by doing the decontamination, etc., that you're doing in offices. Great work down there. But Green Earth, talk to me a little bit about your company. Give yourself a little plug here.
Yeah, you bet, Jason. First, this is Robert. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to talk about this today. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So go ahead, talk about Green Earth a little bit.
You bet. So Green Earth is a Colorado-based, or at least founded in Colorado. It's got decades of experience providing environmental services and environmental products to the greater Western Hemisphere. So our goal was to actually come up with environmentally friendly solutions, and that's everything from the way that we reseed, the way we farm, the way we agriculture, the way we build buildings. So we do a host of different commercial landscaping, reclamation, reseeding, and a lot of that spills over into the energy sector. So we do a lot of these services for our energy partners. And so part of our goal, and Josh can talk a little bit more about this, is to come up with safer solutions to otherwise harmful products, if that's not a good plug.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Josh, let's transition over to you for a little bit. I love the name Green Earth because it really says so much about what it is that you guys are doing. And after listening to your philosophy a little bit about the different tentacles that you guys have out there, Josh, talk to me a little bit about the green side of this thing.
Well, the green side of this thing is always, we wanted to put people as a priority in our lives and in our daily workings. And so what we've done is we've made a conscious effort in everything that we do to source the most bio-friendly, eco-friendly, and human-friendly raw materials to create some of these innovative products that we put out on the market today. We take great care in trying to make sure that we're taking care of the environment, which then in turn will also take care of all the people that we're servicing and providing all these products and service to.
Let's talk a little bit about the service that caught my attention with the basically, I don't know if it's like a fogging or how it is. I'll let you guys describe it in a second, but in my mind, it's, basically going in and doing a smoke machine for an office to making sure that it's completely, decontaminized. But basically, if you got potato bugs or termite bugs down in New Mexico, same thing, where you go in and do that. And I think it's a great idea for offices to do this. And so when I saw on social media that you guys were doing this down in Colorado, and I think, see that you guys are spilling now into other states because of the demand for this. That's why this is a great concept. It's a great idea. Talk to me about the service that you guys are providing for businesses so that their employees can feel safe when they go back to work.
You bet, Jason. Just really quickly, I want to give you a little backstory. So the product that we actually use in the process of spraying has been under development for more than a decade with the Department of Defense and with other military organizations. So I think it's important for the listeners to understand that this product wasn't specifically engineered or designed to combat this problem. One of the really neat things is that it does. So part of the ability for us to provide the right level of service is making sure we have the right tools to do that. And so this product we've been working on for more than a decade, like I said, handles all molds, funguses, bacterias, obviously COVID. It also is very, it works on herpes simplex. It works on hepatitis. It works on HIV. So anyway, the product itself is really kind of the key to us being able to do a phenomenal service. So the service is provided through, what looks like fogging machines, right? So if you go to the concert, you see the fog rolling out, a similar concept. So what we're trying to do is take the molecules down to a really small part per million, and then we're electrostatically charging that so that it will attach itself to everything around it. And that's what gives it that phenomenal reach with a low volume application. So It's almost a very dry to the touch application. And because it's a kill on contact product, you can actually go right back into the facility immediately. You don't even have to wait.
By the way, thank you for bringing that up too, because I didn't mean to make it sound like it's as easy as setting up a basement, your son's dance in your basement with a fog machine. It's a little bit more complex than that. And I did want to ask you a little bit more about the product, because I did see that, it's labeled as organic, and so therefore it's got the certification. Talk to me a little bit more about that product, some of the environmental side. Now, you mentioned that it can attach itself on a molecular level. Continue on from there. I don't know if you want to take the baton from there, Josh, but talk to me a little bit about the bio, eco, the organic side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Our product, the electrobiocide, it is a EPA registered product. It is on the N list, and it is a Category 4 product, it's kind of a rarity these days to see a Category 4 product, because that is the most bio-friendly and eco-friendly category that you can get into. And we're still certified by the EPA to have the listings for the kill rates that we have. This particular product has a kill rate of a 6 log. And what that means is it's 99.9999% effective on its kill rate. A lot of other products out on the market are usually just a 98.9 or a 99.9. And so we're really taking it to the next level with this particular product, being able to have that kind of kill rate. And then its uniqueness in the characteristics of the product itself allows us to get it down to that micron size when we run it through the electrostatic spraying apparatus, so that it envelops around all of the different things that you may encounter inside of a home, an office, or an open warehouse. It really just kind of gets in those crevices that you don't normally think about. I also think, it's good to note about the eco-friendliness of this product, because the re-entry back into these places that we're doing these types of applications is very quick. You'll see our guys, they'll have a lot of PPE on, and it's not really because of the chemical that we're spraying. It's more so that we're just protecting our employees, because we don't know what they're walking into the buildings that they're going in to treat, whether there was a positive case of something in there or not. And the other part of this that is kind of a really cool thing to think about is we're actually utilizing a physical chemistry instead of like a poisoning or something of that nature to get rid of these molds, bacteria, or viruses. The way our product works is it actually goes in and harvests the hydrogens on these particular bacteria, molds, and viruses, and pulls it away, almost ripping the cell walls apart. And the really cool part about that is you always hear about all of these viruses being able to mutate and turn into something different and become superbugs. But when you utilize this product, because of the kill rate, that kill log of 6, and the way that we're actually doing it, we're not allowing these bacteria, these viruses, or molds to have a chance. So we're literally ripping them apart, and they're dead on contact.
That's fascinating how the molecular science can do these things. And I've seen the advancements happen, with oil and gas, and I've seen it happen with Febreze, if you will. We've seen the Febreze ads to kind of show us how it's done on a molecular level. I know it's not that, but at the same time, it does kind of give a little bit of an illustration how this stuff is done in a very, call it organic way, if you will. It's more organic, meaning, safe and not harmful to the environment. Describe the process, if you will. Let's say somebody is, thinking, okay, this sounds like a really good idea for my office. We got 25 workers that come in here. I'll tell you what, if I sent out a blast email saying that this office was certified with a turbocharged super hydrogen overdrive, whatever that certification, the Department of Defense super allowed, whatever the phrases are in there, because it's top of the line that you guys have. So if somebody was going to call you up and do that, what would they expect? What would the process look like for them as the business owner?
You bet, Jason. That's a good question. So, I mean, at new times, so these aren't things that businesses would typically be doing. I mean, it just doesn't happen. And so as we evolve and learn how to live with these types of problems, we're just not familiar with these processes. So what typically happens is we'll get a call. It'll either be a known case or an unknown case. Known case meaning that they know they had somebody in their facility who had the sickness, if you will. So that's one way. So the first way is if we get a call and somebody wants to have their facility treated, we'll take the call, we'll dispatch a crew out, and we'll do an assessment of the building. So we'll get all geared up, get our safety equipment on. And the reason we do that, again, is not because the product's harmful. In fact, you can put this on your skin, you can put it on your tongue. The product is very, very safe. We're dressing and putting our people into these suits because we don't know what they're walking into. So that's more of a preserve their health rather than contaminate something else. So at any rate, we'll go do an assessment. The assessment basically is, what are we looking at? Is it computers? Is it desks? Is it cubicles? Is it an open space? So we can determine which types of equipment and how many people we need to dispatch to do that. Typically, we'll do the job the same day. We have an immediate response crew 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so we'll go in, we'll set up, we'll get geared up. They will actually go in and spray the facility first, and we call that to do the contact kill. And then another crew or the same crew will come right back immediately behind that and do what's called a spray and wipe. So we hit the contact surfaces where you may have the oils from your skin can hold things longer on doorknobs and things like that. So we will actually come in behind that and do a contact surface wipe down. And then we back our way back out of the building. We put a sticker on the front door or the front window that says that this facility has been decontaminated by Green Earth, and then we're done. And that usually for 1,000 square foot building takes about 30 minutes.
How about like computers, chairs, office equipment, that sort of thing? Do they have to take everything out of the building? Is that something that they got to cover up? Does it just go into the computer and the fabric and everything's okay? Talk to me about that part of it.
You bet. And that's a great question. So the only recommendation that we give to these offices and facilities like that is put your papers in the drawer. And not because it'll ruin them, but like when you get into a higher humidity, you can kind of curl the edges of papers. So we ask that they put the papers inside the drawers and things like that. But this is perfectly safe for computers, for chairs, for kitchens, stovetops. So there's really no fear of that. And it does not have to be wiped back down when it's done. That's one of the amazing characteristics of this product.
That's absolutely incredible. I saw that you guys had a bank that you guys did at least a video of. So It looks like you guys are already gotten some business going and things are going along pretty well, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've actually, Jason, just to kind of digress for a second, one of the things we wanted to do with this technology, and there's two things. This product was not in full production. We were only making small test samples for the military. So we had to ramp up quickly to try and meet some of these production needs and not only that, the needs of this humanitarian cause. So we've been working feverishly to get some of our engineering done so we can make more product quicker. And so what that caused us to do was really kind of focus on our community at large. We didn't want to claim that we could do more than what we could. So we worked right here on our local community in Greeley and Weld County. And we've done banks, we've done Burris, the scope and binocular manufacturer. We've done all the police departments. We do the fire departments. We've done the ambulances. We've worked with all the local medical clinics. And what we were trying to do there was make sure we were getting to our frontline service providers first. Let's take care of the people who take care of us. And even in the beginning, we did all of those services for free or what we call at cost. We didn't charge our service providers for those things. And so we've really kind of captured a lot right here in our backyard. We've done restaurants. Luna Tacos was one of the big ones that we partnered with down here. We actually have contract services for the banks and some of the other locations. Burris is actually a contract location. And so we're really trying to touch as much of the community as we possibly can. And then you alluded to it earlier. One of the things that we really enjoyed was we partnered with another great company from our community and my home community in Gillette, Wyoming, and that company is called Titan Solutions. And so as we were able to make more product, we partnered with Titan. Titan has an incredible footprint around the country, and that immediately gave us access to 7 states. So we can take this amazing technology and this phenomenal product and start to reach all of the critical communities around us, and we will grow from there.
7 states. Okay, so Titan Solutions, of course, I recognize them from the North Dakota, which is Bakken, and so you got Montana, you've got North Dakota, you've got Wyoming. It's South Dakota. I imagine it'd be included in there, and then you got Texas, New Mexico, Colorado. Is that the 7 states?
Yes, sir. And then we've actually so. Not as much of the service yet, although we're deploying into several more states. We're currently in negotiations for franchises in 15 more states. But one of the other really neat things is we also have the line of the product that we sell to end users for cleaning their own buildings. So if in between, let's say, spraying services, you want to make sure that you've got enough product so you can do your contact surfaces maybe on shift changes or before the folks come in the morning. So we also sell product, and Josh, you have to help me, but I think we're in some 12 or 15 states now in terms of selling the product as well.
Yeah, we're certainly in 12 states currently, and by the end of the week, we will hit that higher number.
Well, let's just take a step back then for those folks just kind of, who might be interested in the business side of things here, which is, okay, so the service itself is in about, call it 7, 8 states, depending on 7 for sure, possibly more by the time you listen to this interview. That's what we call a tease in the business, gentlemen. It's a tease. But then you actually have like a wholesale, or you're at like a Fleet Farms, or can you buy the product on a shelf or through your website, or talk to me about that a little bit.
You bet. So currently we have kind of our e-commerce edition right off of our website, and that's www.greenearthcolorado.com, and you can go on and buy the products. We will and are currently setting up some of our wholesale and retail outlets right now. And so you'll also be able to learn about those on our website as well. And there's a lot of really good information in there. There's some product information. So if people want to learn a little bit more about the product and why we think it's as good as it is, some of the history with the Department of Defense is listed in there. So you can read about those things. There's some bacterium testing that we're starting to list on there, and we're updating that every day. You can also go to a tab and see our franchise locations and get information on how to contact those folks as well.
All right, folks, make sure your pen and paper's out, because I'm going to ask them once again for that website and contact information. But we're going to go a little bit into overdrive here, because as I'm writing down my notes here as my old journalist, I'll be honest, guys, I thought this was going to be just kind of a fun, easy, soft news. Hey, look at this. These guys are spraying offices. This is an easy, low-hanging fruit news story. Well, you guys were doing stuff for the Department of Defense, and you had to ramp it up. I mean, this is actually like a pretty big news story. So I'm going to change gears a little bit here on the second half of this story. We're going to call this overtime, or at least second half. Josh, I think you're going to have to step forward on this one. If it's since you're more on the chemist side, more on the environmental biology side, if you will, talk to me about that Department of Defense thing a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe, Robert, you're the one that's supposed to answer this. But my guess is that this product was through the Department of Defense because it has to do with a molecular level. And that's where I'm interested is how you guys got there. What was the end goal? And did you get the end goal? You just had to ramp it up. Talk to me a little bit about that Department of Defense thing.
Yeah, certainly. So, we have to be careful a little bit about what we talk about in that regard. But, essentially it was a rapid response or a deployment to certain types of infections or outbreaks that could potentially happen. And there's a lot of really neat projects that we've been working through some of our partners with and the Department of Defense. But, one of the neatest ones was a little bug called Candida auris. And one of the most deadly guys out there. And this particular product, this electrobiocide, because of the way it works, by attacking the actual cell wall and harvesting the hydrogens from these infections, these bugs, these viruses and molds, we were actually able to rip that one apart. And that's one of our biggest claim to fame cases, where we actually went in and were able to eradicate something with almost 100% kill rate, that 6-log kill rate, 99.9999% kill rate. We were able to go in and disinfect what we couldn't do with some of the older technologies that were previously used by the DoD. And so it's those types of projects that we've worked on them with that really kind of led to something bigger and had us starting to think about changing the way we start to disinfect the world and changing the way that we actually clean.
Talk to me more about that, changing the way we clean. I mentioned the Febreze video earlier, or the Febreze commercial earlier, which, like I